All right, welcome to another episode of Planty Face Repot Edition. So these are some of the plants that I got in the winter. The room they're in is actually quite warm, and during really, really cold nights, I supplement that with heaters, with a heater. But I've only had to do that twice this year, doesn't really need it. But what I'm doing right now before I go on is I'm gonna do some pot matching. So this is I think it's called the Sesamothamnus lugardii. Okay, it's a tree-like succulent. Okay, very, very established, old plant, but I definitely want it in a very much better looking pot. Okay, so I'm trying to match them. The thing with this is they have a deep taproot, so you don't want them in a shallow pot. So I'm thinking this here is probably a good one for it. Right, so if you look at the level, then it's got another deep ability to go all the way down. You want it deep, not shallow, and same with the same species, these two. So I'm going to find pots for that, and this one is called the Matilea something something. I'm going to obviously put in the title. I forget what it is. It's like a vine type thing. It's lots of leaves in the winter. But I'm going to repot it now so I don't have to muck about for at least 2 years, right? And then this one here is just a standard little Reboutia perplexa, okay? Starting to grow a little bit now. I'm just going to repot it into a terracotta, nothing fancy. It's growing quite fast, quite prolific thing. So I'm going to just repot that as well. So let me just find some pots and let's see how we go. All right, look. The debate is, do I want something pretty or do I want something functional? But also, it needs to tick the boxes, right? It needs to tick the boxes. So for example, this one here, cool little Chinese looking pot. Doesn't breathe, but it's pretty cool. You just have to be wary of watering. So if I do it like this, it's got a lot of space. Now, does it have deep taproot space? It does not. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to save this for another plant, yeah? Save this for another plant. So let's see what we have. So we have this. Yep, I'm going to do it for that one. And then the Matilea, you want the bulb to be partially buried. So a deeper pot's good, so it grows down like a taproot as well. So I think this is a good one here, right? It can stay there for an indefinite amount of time until it gets quite big. But I think this deeper pot is probably better for this one to achieve that taproot situation. So as much as I like that Chinese pot, let's go functional versus form. And then we can obviously have a happier plant. So anyway, let's get repotting. So this is some of the, I'm going to definitely put in Osmocote here. Scoops. Quite a big pile of dirt. So it's actually not a huge amount of Osmocote, considering it's a lot of dirt. You can hardly see them. But that's the point, right? You don't want to, because these plants are not from ultra fertile lands, so it's not like you have to have it. In fact, some people say you don't even need the Osmocote. You can just, the natural nutrients from potting mix. But, you know, I'd rather, yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do this one for this tree. Okay, so that's what it looked like. And I'm going to actually maybe lean it a little bit, but no, probably not. It's already leaning. Okay, so let's do that. Let me just so let's repot this. Once again, on the bottom, just so there is guaranteed drainage. compress the shit out of that in the bottom, because by the time the roots get to the bottom, it is going to be pretty... Okay, let's get this out of here. Okay. So look, I mean, I like these kind of succulent type plants. They really are quite a treat. I don't know, there's something about them that I just really, really enjoy. Look at that beautiful root ball. Okay, some people say lift it. I'm not going to do that. Great quality soil, of course, from the grower. It has slightly root bound itself, so I'm not going to get too crazy about that. I'm just going to break it up a little bit just so it moves, and I'm just going to tease the corners, but not going to go too crazy, all right? See, quite a fragile root system there. So let's nope. Use some of the old soil. So I want to try and straighten it up a bit. Actually, no. Nice character having it like that. So let's... There. Now. Okay. Big taproot. See that big taproot? Yep. I'm just going to don't want to compress it too much, but just got to make sure you give it some tension. Yeah, there you go. Like I said, I'm not interested in raising the roots. I don't care. I'm more interested in making sure that it's stable and it grows, yeah? So I don't care about that. Now, a lot of people, they keep this in, plastic. I don't know. I find terracotta very forgiving, and terracotta is very forgiving, and it looks good. It breathes. That's the key thing. It breathes, and yeah. So let's try this now. Once again, there's a big taproot there, but this one here is not as root bound, so it doesn't really need a lot of. It doesn't need a lot of work. So I'm compacting the sides just to secure it, make sure that it's tight and secure. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more, and then I'm gonna put top dressing on this too. Yeah, so there you go. So Sesamothamnus, lugardii, that's the name of this. I don't even know how to say it, but I'll put it on the title, man. God damn. Cool. So let's get this done. Oh shit, sorry. So as I've told you before, I like top dressing, multiple reasons. It does keep the plant more stable, I found, but it also looks much better, right? Like, look, we can all just grow plants in a utilitarian kind of way, but really growing them so they look better is very important. I mean, you're going to be looking at these things a lot. There you go. So, and then this one, let's try that one. There you go. Oh shit, don't want to hit it. Okay, careful. There. And then of course you just want to make sure that near the base of the trunk is always breathing. Okay, never ever constrained with moisture. It has to be breathing. Just to avoid fungal issues and all sorts of shit. Probably overthinking it, but just want to be sure. There you go. So look at that. What a beautiful tree shrub thingy.